Hello and welcome to the Presero training series. In this lesson, we will be learning about the custom workflow or the custom status options located in the Presero preferences. We will begin by logging into the Presero admin with the username and the password. Once logged in, go to the Preferences tab and select the option Workflow. When an order arrives, there is a default status applied to the order. You can change the status by selecting from a drop-down list of different status options. When a status update is made in the standard workflow, both your internal staff and your customer can see the updates. The custom workflow created here can be used to create your own status options that can later be assigned to different products. You can also set what your internal staff sees as the particular status and have your customer see something different. For example, internal staff sees in the order detail area that the status of the job is pick and pack, whereas the end user or the customer sees collecting items. Let's see the process of creating a new workflow. To create a new workflow, select the Add New link, provide the name. This is required. Name your workflow a name that will be easy to identify later when you assign it to a product in your different stores. Description. Give the workflow a description to further help you identify the workflow and its details. To save the time, I already have one digital workflow created with multiple stages. So I'm going to cancel this and click on the pencil icon to edit the digital workflow I have created. After saving the name and description, click on the Create New Stage link. And this is how you're going to create all the stages. Let's have a look of each columns one by one. The very first is the stage number. Workflow stages happen in a specific order. Use the stage number to put each stage in the order that the production workflow follows for each job. For example, pre-press might be stage 1 followed by stage 2, press. This can be used by your staff as an easy guideline of where an item needs to go to next and in what order the job needs to move through production. Internal name. This is the status name that your internal staff will see when they are producing the job. You can specify that your staff sees a more detailed status than your customer. For example, your staff sees the job is at a stage of Canon 5500, then binding, then cutting, whereas your customer sees only order being processed through all the three stages. External stage name. This is the status name that your customer or the end user will see. They check the job status in the order history area of the storefront. As mentioned above, you might want your customer to see order being processed throughout several stages of production instead of seeing each internal step. Stage meaning. If the stage has a specific meaning, for example, the stage means that the order is complete, select it from the list. The item displayed in the list are the same items that you see in Presero default workflow. You can leave this area as none. Stage meaning if the particular stage you are setting has no specific meaning. For a workflow to be valid, at least 3 of your stages must have one of the 3 required stages meaning. A custom workflow must include all 3 of the following stages in order to be a valid workflow: order received, order completed, and order cancelled. These stages tell the system what the stage means to the internal Presero system. If you do not include these stages in a workflow you create, it will be considered invalid and will be ignored, and it will not display in the workflow drop-down menu when setting up for the products. When the complete stage meaning is triggered in the system, an email is also generated to your customer to let them know the order is complete. You can create a workflow to call this stage anything you want. As long as you assign the completed stage meaning, the proper function will be triggered. Let's assign this digital workflow to one of my product on the Presero site and see how does it work. So I'm going to my site, catalog, products. Let's say I have a product known as A4. Scroll down and you will see an option of a drop down under order management, order status workflow. Here you can assign the digital workflow you have created above. In order for the valid workflow to appear here, make sure that all three stages are there in the workflow and it is valid. So I'm going to select digital workflow and click on save. Now I'm going to quickly place an order using the product and will show you how it is going to appear for the customer, that is the end user, and internally on the admin side. So I'm going to look for my product. This is my product. I'm going to quickly place an order. Going to the shopping cart page, proceed to checkout, and place an order. On the order summary page, there is a column known as status. The very first status is the order received and with the responsible the user who has placed the order. This is how the list of status will appear on the order history page. Now let's go back to the Presero admin, see the order. This is my 709 order number. And if I select the drop down, I'm going to see the internal stages I have created for this specific order since the product is using a custom digital workflow. The one which is not using will show the default workflow, whereas since we have assigned at the product level, the workflow stages will show the internal stages name. So if you go to edit the order, go to the status tab. Let's say I want to, as an administrator, I want to update the status to binding and update status. And let's say I want to update status to cutting and put some notes and click on update status. So if I go to the back to search results, the status is set to cut now. Whereas on the order summary page, if you scroll down, all the three status change from order received to cutting will be displayed in this format. However, as you can see, the external user or the end user is seeing order being processed. Since we do not want the end user to see the internal names like cutting, bindery, etc. So the end user is still seeing the order being processed. This is one of the advantage of using custom workflow. This was all about using the digital or custom status options or custom workflow for your products. Thank you for watching this video.